Doctors typically recommend 3 ways to eliminate period cramps. 1 is hormonal birth control, 2 is with a pain reliever like Advil, and the 3rd one is often with surgery if you have a more serious issue like endometriosis or something like that. I, however, want to provide you with 10 natural ways that you can lessen your period cramps or completely eliminate them. Hey, welcome back to the Best Period channel. My name is Gaynette Jones. I'm the founder and CEO of Best Period, and today we're going to talk about 10 natural remedies to assist you with period cramps. And I'm not talking about the regular, take an Advil or get some rest and all of that. No. We're getting into some real deal things that are going to help you to naturally lessen or completely eliminate your period cramps. Now we're about to dive right in. If you have a vagina, if you want to make sure yours is in tip-top shape, or you want to just learn how to ensure that you have your best period, then make sure you hit that subscribe button on this channel because I'm going to be sharing videos weekly to assist you to do just that. Are you ready? We're going to be starting off with some more basic ones that go into ones that are going to blow your mind because they're very unique. But they're still not going to be your regular, take an Avila and get some rest. That's not what we do around here, okay? So the first one is just drink more water. And I know this is something you hear often, not just for cramps, but for all things. Water seems to be put out there as that cure-all, almost like ginger ale for Black parents, right? Get ginger ale if your stomach hurts. Like, we get ginger ale for all the things. Let me know in the comments if your parents ever gave you ginger ale if you had a tummy ache or something like that. Anyway, that's a topic for another day, but let me know in the comments because I'm curious. Was it just mine because I'm an island girl? Let me know. But water really does help. So just to give you some background, your period cramps are created by prostaglandin, which is a contraction-producing hormone that creates contractions in your uterus. So it forces the uterus to contract and then it sheds its lining. And I talked about this a little bit in the last video, all about what is a menstrual cup and how does it work. So if you're interested in that, I'll link that at the very end of this video so you can learn a bit more about your period. But for now, we're gonna dive right back in. So water does assist, okay? It's gonna help keep you hydrated, and not just with period cramps, but cramps in general. I find even when I'm working out, it's really helpful. And the second and last basic one, but it's still so important that you have to know this, is to eat better. A lot of processed foods are full with so much sodium, which is a lot of salt. And we'll get into that a bit more in the later numbers, but salt creates dehydration and that does not assist with your cramps, right? So as you start cutting back on the processed foods or just watching your sodium intake, especially around the time of your period, you will notice a change. So please eat better, less processed, less ingredients in the back of the packages, or whole foods in general would be better for you during this time. And they'll just give you the vitamins that you need to feel better anyway, right? The vitamins, nutrients, and minerals. So the micro and macronutrients. Whole nother topic. Let's get into number 3 where it starts to get exciting. Okay, now we're getting into number 3, which is a little strange. And that one is menstrual cups. I know, right? It may sound a little weird, but there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that shows that those who use menstrual cups instead of the typical pads or tampons tend to experience much less, or sometimes it completely eliminates their period cramps. And to be honest, because this isn't like some big scientific study, we don't know why this is right now. But I know for sure this has been my experience along with so many other people who've switched to menstrual cups. And it may be because they don't have the chemicals and all those things, but listen, don't take my word for it. Give it a go and see how it works for you. All I know is that I have had this experience as well as so many other people. You can Google this. Ask on Google. She's wise beyond her years. Number 4 is to use an app. Now let me tell you how this can help. So if you use a period tracking app, I'm usually against them when it comes to like figuring out when you ovulate because they don't know. For ovulation, you either have to take an ovulation test, you can do the basal body temperature thing to find out after you ovulate. There are other ways to figure out, but your apps often don't know. They guesstimate based on what they believe everybody else is doing, right? So if your period's 28 days, they say, okay, roughly 14 days before your period comes on, that's when you ovulate, or things like that around the time of your period based on other people's experiences. But they aren't as accurate as you would think. However, period tracking apps are amazing for a whole lot of other things, to track your symptoms, to help you know when your period is coming on, and that's why it's gonna help with your cramps. because if you know when your period's coming on, then you can start doing some of the things we're going to talk about in a short bit, which preps your body to not have those intense cramps that you typically do. So my favorite period tracking app is the Flow app. If you've ever used that, let me know in the comments. And if you don't use Flow and you use something else, let me know in the comments which one you use and I'll check that out. And number 5 is lemon balm. This is something that is related to the basil and mint family. It's actually an herb, and there's lemon balm tea and things like that, but it is amazing for reducing your intensity of period cramps. And there was a 2015 study that shows its effectiveness for this. So this is the real deal, guys, and I want you to try this out. Of course, anything that's a herb or something like that, always consult with your medical professional, especially if you have any health related issues. Again, your sister doesn't have the medical degree over here. I just know a lot about a lot. So for sure, check this out, do your own research, and I'm telling you, this stuff's the real deal. Okay, let's move on. Number 6 is one that I really wish wasn't a thing, but it is, and it's really helpful for helping to reduce period cramps, and that is exercise. I know people don't really like to exercise, but let me tell you why it's so effective. When you consistently work out, and I mean that working out that makes your heart pump, right? That really good workout. What it does is release endorphins. And those endorphins help to counteract the cramp producing chemicals. And I get it. Listen, you don't want to necessarily work out, especially when you find that you have really intense cramps. However, if you get yourself into a regular routine and work out in advance prior to you even starting your cycle and your period coming on and all of that, then when it does come on, you'd already be in that routine and you can just go for it, and you're going to find that that really intense workout is super helpful for completely kicking that cramp in the butt. And that brings us to number 7, and that is bringing warmth to your lower abdominal area, so applying heat. And now some experts recommend heating pads, others say use a hot water bottle. I say simply do what feels comfortable. You do not want it to be too hot where you're one, scalding your skin or creating any additional damage, right? But the reason heat works really well, so I like to have it above lukewarm. So you want it warm enough where you feel the heat penetrating, but not super hot where it's uncomfortable. And the reason this works is because what heat does in all areas of your body is relax the muscles. So when you apply heat on the lower abdominal area, you're relaxing the muscles down there, and your uterus is then at ease. And maybe you don't have a heating pad, right? You could do something as simple as using a towel, maybe putting it in some boiling water, wringing it out, letting it cool a bit, and then applying it to you. Any type of heat, even a warm bath would be really helpful for you to relax those muscles. Okay, let's move on to number 8, and that is ginger. And let me tell you why. Not only is it great for nausea, which can sometimes accompany really bad cramps, ginger lowers the level of pain-causing prostaglandins. We talked about prostaglandins a bit at the very beginning when I talked about how cramps are created. So what the ginger does is lower that. So when you couple the fact that it can lower the thing that's creating the cramps, in addition to helping your stomach fight nausea, then, I mean, you have a win-win. And I know the taste of ginger for some is really tough to get used to, but I say try different things. You have pure ginger candy. I don't recommend the sugar, and I'll tell you why in a short bit, but you have that option. You have ginger tea. You have ginger that you can put in your smoothies or in maybe a bowl of soup, right? You can grate some fresh ginger. You can get really creative with it and see what works best for you. But combining these things, this along with all the other things, maybe having that ginger in your soup in addition to the lemon balm tea, can be a winning combination. So try all the things I'm talking about out, either individually or in tandem. Ginger tea specifically is so helpful because you have the ginger and you have the water. It's great using them all together, right? So I didn't mention this earlier, but let me just pop this in here because I got on a tangent talking about ginger ale. But don't forget, if you did, your parents did tell you to try ginger ale, make sure you put that in the comments. But here's the real deal why water is effective too. It helps you avoid dehydration, right? Which means you have fluids there to help your muscles to relax. And muscle cells that are relaxed and hydrated are less irritated. So you have the water, you have the ginger tea. winning combination. Okay, so number 9 is reducing some things from your diet, specifically around this time, and that is caffeine, salt, and sugar. The reason you want to avoid these things is because they create dehydration in your body, and they also create bloating. And who's got time for that? Dealing with cramps and bloating? Nah. Now, if you're someone who really needs the caffeine in the morning, or you thrive on that coffee, attempt to change it just for the days you have your really severe cramps. So for me, I used to get them severely before menstrual cups. I used to get them severely on the first 2 days of my period. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I didn't have this issue to change out anything. However, I did find that tea was super helpful, which we talked about the last one. However, try tea. And now I know some of you are probably like, okay, Nette girl, I need my coffee in the morning. I'd rather have that and deal with the cramps. And maybe you could try some different substitutes. Maybe switch into decaf, or, because I know some people think that decaf's like the devil. So, okay, maybe trying a caffeinated tea that has less caffeine. So slowly weaning yourself off of it possibly could be a good idea. Just some suggestions from a girl who don't drink coffee. And if you do decide to give this a go, try to use either lemon balm tea or ginger tea, or you could try chamomile tea, which is really great, and it's also a sedative, so maybe you can even sleep through some of the pain, right? Don't take it, of course, if you're operating heavy machinery or, at work or driving a car. You know the spiel, right? Just be responsible with it. Incorporating a lot of the things I talked about in this video can really assist you. You don't have to do just one. You can do multiple of them. Ginger tea, eliminate your coffee. Look at that, that's 2. 3, you get the water and then the ginger. You can buy ginger tea bags, but I tend to put fresh ginger cut up in hot water in a pot, and you're good. You can even add some lemon to that. You have your water, you have your tea, and oh goodness, what was the third one? Oh, as a result, you're eliminating the caffeine. There we go. I'm back at it. And as your teacup begins to cool down, you can even put it on your lower abdominal and then have that heat. Look at that. 4 things in a row. I am nailing this for you. Your cramps are gonna be out of here. And now the 10th and final natural thing that you can do to completely eliminate or lessen the intensity of your cramps is to try sesame seed oil. And I know you're probably like, sesame seed oil? Allow me to explain. I've got you. Sesame oil is rich in something called linoleic acid. And this is something that's been used for a really long time. Like, we're talking about generations upon generations upon generations back in Ayurveda medicine. And to be clear, I said sesame oil, but I didn't tell you how. You're not consuming it. It's rubbing it on your lower abdominal. Give it a go. What can it hurt, right? Unless, of course, you're like allergic to sesame seeds, in which case you want to stay away from all of this. And all of these things, I want you to be responsible to. Again, I am not a doctor. I just know a lot about a lot. Please consult your healthcare provider if you have any known issues. I was about to say, or if you're pregnant, but if you're pregnant, then you don't have to worry about period cramps. So congrats to you. And there you have it, 10 natural ways to completely eliminate, or at the very least, lessen the intensity of your period cramps. I'm gonna recap over them really quickly. So number 1 was water. Number 2 was eat better. Number 3 was menstrual cups. You should try Best Period's menstrual cup. If this is after December 2nd, 2020, they are available for sale at bestperiod.com. How's that for a plug? Number 4 is to try a period tracking app just so that you can get ahead of the curve and know when yours is coming so that you can prep in advance. So I use the Flow app, like I said. Let me know in the comments what it is that you use. Number 5 was lemon balm. Number 6 was exercise. Number 7 was using heat. Number 8 was ginger. Number 9 was reducing your sugar, caffeine, and salt content. And number 10 was trying a sesame oil massage in your lower abdominal area. Now, if you enjoyed this video or want to see more like this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and give this video a thumbs up so other people can find it as well. We'll chat next time.